Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are Farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Check it out right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now,
The 3-time sexiest man in Millington, Johnny Harden.
What is up? What is up? Welcome back into a little Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Y'all, can you believe it? It's already 1 o'clock out there in, the Mid-South, Central Time area. 2 o'clock on the East Coast. 5 o'clock somewhere. I know that. But it's Happy Hour here. And you got your sports mixologist, John Harden. Other side, hanging out with me as always. Answering the phones, dropping knowledge. My man, Gabe Kuhn. You can follow me at Johnny_Radio and Gabe at G_Kuhn71. And we know you know it's Kuhn. Come on now. If I know how to spell it, everybody does. But no, we have a really fun day. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't want somebody to just start calling John an idiot and Eli a hater. I don't want people to come at me viciously. I actually want to have a really intelligent conversation, because I actually did a lot of real good work. Not really I did the work. I'm going to be honest with you. I read the work. I'm going to give the love to Ryan Dunleavy. Ryan Dunleavy of New Jersey Advanced Media for NewJersey.com. He went out and interviewed the voters for the Hall of Fame. Guess what? He's got some of them to actually put their name on it. He's got some of them that are anonymous. But he interviewed all of them, told us how the breakdown is and how it works. And we will talk about Eli, the importance of record, knocks against Eli, a la Jim Plunkett. We'll also talk about people who are 100% for Eli. And I'll tell you all the votes and how they break down. And we'll just have I want to have a mature, interesting discussion, because I think this is a fascinating era. And I think it's a great argument. You're going to say, why in the hell are you bringing this up? And I'm going to tell you why right now. Eli is apparently going to get a start this weekend. And I want to remind people out there, Eli is 116 all time as a starter. He has those 2 Super Bowl runs. They account for every postseason win he's ever had in his life. He has never been an all-pro quarterback, never led the league in passing yards, passing touchdowns. He's never finished top 5 in the MVP. He's never even been a top 10 rated QBR other than one season, and he finished 10th. So, there's actually a discussion here. He's never sniffed anywhere close again, like I said, to the top 5 voting on the MVP. But again, one time he was a top 10 QBR rated, and he was 10. Now, since his last Super Bowl win, we also have to remember his record is a paltry, abysmal, like 47 and 68, I believe. I got it. I'll bring it back up in a minute. We'll talk about all that stuff. But I have all the good numbers. I have a lot of people, but I'm going to say I want to have a real conversation. He has Super Bowl moments. He has 2 Super Bowl titles. He has also some top 20 all-time passing stats. He's also a great guy. Like, he's a good dude. You know what I mean? He destroyed. One of the other things is those 2 monster dynasties with, Brady and Belichick. He stopped the greatest team ever. I mean, Mercury Morris, he wouldn't have the only undefeated team. Mercury Morris has got to love Eli Manning. You know what I mean? He saved that for Mercury and the Dolphins.
I know you said we are going to have a mature conversation, but most of the time you crack a couple jokes, right? Like, It can't be like fully mature. It's got to be a little bit.
Yeah,
funny,
I'm gonna
right?
have some funny.
Because we know Eli is a Hall of Fame player.
What I'm saying,
like,
is,
end of the day,
when I put, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. The voters is where I'm going to tell you. I'm going to be very surprising if you have 10 no votes, you don't get in. And right now he has. I'm just going to go ahead and be a person that's going to bust it for you. 10 people said they would vote no. That means you're not in. So therefore, he actually does have work to do. And I can tell you
I think
some of the people that will say
down
no.
the road, though.
Well, this is where we're going to have the discussion, because down the road, he's going to become less and less appealing because of the way the quarterback's changing. The quarterback position is changing totally. You're seeing more running quarterbacks and more all these quarterbacks that do different things. When has ever Eli wowed you other than 2 playoff games? Again, he's never won a postseason game outside of those 2 seasons. Hasn't taken his team to the postseason since he last won the Super Bowl. When you have a 116-116 500 regular season record, that hurts. But if he loses this weekend and it's 116-117 and it's sub 500, there's an argument, people. But before I get into that, I wanted to give you time at 67129 on the First Bank text line. If you want to weigh in, I'm going to go ahead. And like I said, I'm literally going to read a lot of the people and tell you about this very fascinating article that I read. And again, this has come back up because Eli will start over Daniel Jones, Eli Manning starting for the Giants. And if they don't win, he will have a sub 500 record. Can you imagine a pro football quarterback going in with a sub 500 record and y'all calling him a Hall of Famer? Anyway, we'll get into that discussion. But before I jump into all of that, also got some funny stuff about Bill Belichick and his son. Thank you, Gabe. That's hilarious. We're going to laugh very hard on that.
Oh, no, we're playing a game show. This is going to be
it's going to be a little game show. I wanted to also remind you, we're going to do that right after we have Lee Smith from the Tri-State Defender to talk about the Grizzlies. But then I also have, of course, 1:30 Isaac, because guess what we're going to talk about? Like this big football game, Saturday, Memphis, Cincinnati. It is championship week. If you didn't know it was championship week, we're going to have a real conversation. Like for real. And not only is it championship week for Memphis, me and Gabe are going to start a little bit earlier. We do this a lot on Friday. But remember, it's championship week. You got the Ohio State against Wisconsin. Right now, the line's gone from what was 14.5 to now 16.5. The total's 55. I want to remind all you people out there who will probably be very shocked to hear this. Do you know Ohio State does not cover? They didn't cover the 20 against Penn State. They should have beat them by 35. Ohio State has not been a team. Like everybody thinks about them winning and covering with style points. They've been such large favorites. They have not been covering and doing all the things that you would think they've been making bookies happy. You've been betting Ohio State. You've been losing a whole lot of games. They had TD turnover swings against Penn State, like that J.K. Dobbins where he fumbled going into the end zone, and then Penn State scored. I mean, that's a 14-point turnaround heartbreaker. But anyway, you have that one. Then you have Clemson, who's a 28-point favorite over Virginia. Are you kidding me? 28. But you know what's surprising? Do you know they're 7-0 and 6-1 against the spread since the only weird game, and that was the Wofford game where they looked so disinterested. They didn't cover in that game. Since that game when they didn't cover and looked really, really bad, they've gone out, won 7 straight, and gone 6-1 against the spread. And listen to the numbers: 26 over Florida State, 24.5 over Louisville, 35.5 over BC, 35 over North Carolina State, 34.5 over Wake Forest, and 28 over South Carolina. They covered all of those bad boys, baby. That's
back half
balling.
of the season, they were trouncing people. But here's the thing, like with Clemson and Ohio State, like, and I know you just said Ohio State's not great when you're talking about the spread, but I would feel really dumb if I bet the other way. You know what I mean? If I bet on Wisconsin,
well, see,
or
we're gonna
I
have
bet
this conversation
on Virginia,
right now
that would be an interesting. Like I'd rather lose betting Ohio State and Clemson than lose betting the other way.
Do y'all want to know that Ohio State has not covered a huge number except for twice this season? One against the opener against Rutgers, and then the other one was I can't remember. But again, only two games over double touchdown, 2 touchdowns have they covered. Well, because they've also, like I said, if you really look.
To be fair, though, some of these spreads,
some of the spreads, like I said, minus
unattainable.
35, minus, they have some crazy spreads. But again, they haven't been covering. Wisconsin has a pretty good defense, but I will tell you one thing: Wisconsin, outside their running attack, they can't do anything. And the only way you can really beat Ohio State is by taking advantage of their linebackers with more passing. And Wisconsin can't throw the ball. I think this is one where actually Ohio State finally covers. especially with the line, in my opinion, only being 16.5. A lot lower than that 28.
You remember what they did earlier in the season, right? Beat them 38-7.
Yeah, I do.
So, I mean, like, you can say what you want. Jack Cohn isn't it. Jonathan Taylor, get this.
Jonathan
that game,
Taylor's a baller.
But in that game.
But those linebackers will just key on him.
And that D-line. In that game, he had 20 rushes for 52 yards. Like,
whoa, did you say 20 rushes
for 52 yards? And this is the best running back. He's a Doak Walker Award winner. Like, it's hard for me to think that Wisconsin can pull it out and be able to cover.
I bet they can't pull it out. That's what I've heard. People in Wisconsin like to party too, by the way. Now, you want to know something else that's very interesting? Before I get to this whole Eli stuff, I've been giving y'all time to hit me up at 901-360-8255, First Bank phone line, or First Bank text line at 67129. I wanted to ask y'all, I think that we are going to this year have the biggest quarterback carousel in the history of the National Football League. You're going to say to yourself, here goes John in hyperbole and smoking crack again. And I'm going to say, Dave Chappelle is not up in this studio. Neither is Tyrone Biggums. I do not hit the yayo. I do not like the crack rock. But I do like to rock and roll and punch y'all where it really hurts. Listen to what I'm saying, people. Never in the history of this league, and I'm talking about the Shield, the National Football League. Yes, I'm going to talk about Eli, but this is because, think about this. So how many quarterbacks this year do you realize are going to be in the final year of their quarterback? Do y'all realize how many there are? How many quarterbacks right now are in the final year of their contract? Take a guess. Nine quarterbacks.
Okay. All right.
And I'll tell you who they are.
That's my guess is 9.
Good job. That was a great guess. Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, Ryan Tannehill, Drew Brees, and, of course, Teddy Bridgewater, Phillip Rivers, Tom Brady, Eli Manning, and my man Dak Prescott. That is 9 quarterbacks in the final year of their deal. What about guys like this who are going to be cap casualties? Cam Newton's going to be a casualty of the cap. You know that. Andy Dalton, damn straight he's going to be a casualty of the cap. You think they're going to pay Andy Dalton $30 million to be a quarterback in Cincinnati? I just start laughing when I hear Andy Dalton and $30 million. Oh, stop it. And then the other guy who could be, and right now we have 9 free agents, 2 guys that are cap casualties, so we're at 11, right? Mitch Trubisky, isn't he playing himself out of a starting job?
Yeah.
So that means there's another team. So we have 9, 10, 11. So there's that 12 teams looking for a quarterback. What about the Raiders? Does John Gruden look like he believes in Derek Carr to you?
I don't know. That team, what are they? 6 and 6?
I'm telling you one thing. I think he's playing his way right out of a starting gig. He's got that big contract. I can see that dude getting cut. Cut that bait. Just saying. And if you look at all that, and then don't even think about this part, by the way, you have what going on around the country. You have Miami, who doesn't have a quarterback. You have Jacksonville, who's got to figure out what they're going to do with Nick Foles. Or are they really going to go mustachio? I've already gotten, like I said, to 13 now. And then what about, hold on, Washington? Are you sold on Haskins? There's 14. So, what about Pittsburgh and that guy named Doug Hodges? That's 15. Hold on. I got another one. Detroit's quarterback is getting paid buku cash, bad back, dealing stuff with his wife. Detroit, are they going to keep Stafford? 16. Indianapolis, are they 100% sold on Jacoby Brissett? 17. What I'm basically trying to say is I don't have to look very hard to see that this could be the craziest all-time offseason for quarterbacks and quarterback change ever. And if you don't see it and don't recognize it, cool. But I would like to remind you, did you see NFL football yesterday? Bruce Arians was asked a very simple question. Hey, Bruce, what's the long-term, basically, like, this is how I imagine the conversation. It's not how it was exactly went, but it was basically, more like this, but I like to add my little my tune to it. I'll pretend. You want to be Bruce, or you want me to be the reporter? I just have
either
to do
way.
both.
Either way.
I'll have to
No,
do
no.
both.
I
You can do it. You know how it went.
not particularly.
Okay. I can do both. Yo, what's up, Bruce? So, how's things going with Jameis? And Bruce, in his kindest way, said, "Well, considering that he stinks and he's turned the ball over and thrown 20 picks this season, I'm just gonna say I haven't made my decision." To me, that's basically saying,
Are those your terms? Those couldn't have been his words.
no, that's what I said. I'm spicing it up.
Oh, no.
His
okay,
terms were
okay.
like this. Here's how he did it in a very nice. This is how he actually answered the question. So when asked the question, Bruce decided to say, "I'm going to pass on whether Jameis is going to be the Bucs' long-term quarterback answer, and we're just going to reassess things at the end of the season." That's coach speak for what I just said.
For
You threw
hell
20
no.
picks, yo. Are you
We're not
crazy?
keeping him.
Like, yeah, you got like Mike Evans. You got wide receivers out the wazoo, and you throw more interceptions than touchdowns, almost. I mean, goodness gracious. What do you think? You're Eli Manning on drugs?
He's over there eating W's, man.
He's Eli Manning who likes crab. I'm sorry, and I'm just making jokes because
No, but here's the thing: is I thought we talked about this before the season. I thought if anybody could save him, Bruce was the guy for the job.
By the way, and again, Nick Foles in Jacksonville and Gardner Minshew. Basically, I want to ask you something. We have the Dak Prescott. So I want to ask you realistically, I've mentioned 19 teams that are looking at their quarterback situation. Do you not think, and then plus we had the intrigue of the draft every single season, in a very roundabout way, I'm saying if you're Tua, hail to the Nizzo. I can't believe I actually was listening to them at like 7 o'clock this morning have a conversation on whether Tua should come back to Alabama and try to improve his draft stock. Dude, he will have to go against Sunshine next year. That's the guy for Clemson, Lawrence, the pretty good kid. Trevor, you ever seen him play? Gonna play second time. Freshman year, he won it all. Sophomore year, who knows? He's balling, shot calling, could win it all again. I don't think he's going to beat out the Trevor Lawrence next year, who's big and strong, and Tua's had 4 surgeries. 4. He doesn't need to come back and have a 5th or 6th. Go to the NFL and get paid. And again, did you hear what I just said about the quarterback controversy in the National Football League? It'll be, you think it's crazy. Have you ever been, never mind. Have you ever been, no, I was going to say Voodoo Village, that would be rude. I don't want to sound rude. I'm just saying there is going to be more swapping than Dennis Hoff before he passed at the Bunny Ranch. You know what I'm saying? Like, pretend the Bunnies are the NFL football team and the Johns are the quarterbacks. It's going to be a wild, freaky, deaky swap. And nobody knows how it's going to end up. I don't.
I don't
You
either.
do?
No, I mean, look, Tua has said that he's thinking about it. Why do you even ponder this?
Dude, it would
Fix
be
your hip.
insane.
Go get your money. You're done. You've given Alabama all you can. You've given Nick Saban all you can. There shouldn't even be a
You already
conversation
got a
about
title, homie.
there shouldn't be a conversation
He's
about him
losing
returning to Bama.
He's losing all his wide receivers, too. Like,
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
But there should be zero conversation of him coming back to Bama. Zero.
4 surgeries. 4. Not 1, not 2, not 3. 4. And again, if you look at this year, there is next year, I don't think there's going to be 9 free agents, 2 casualty hits, 2 guys who just played their way out, or 4 guys who basically just played their way out. And then crummy teams like Washington, Jacksonville, Miami, all concerned about what they're going to do about their quarterback situation. Teams like Chicago wondering if Mitch Trubisky is the answer. Teams like Oakland and their very impatient coach wondering, I don't believe he thinks Derek Carr is the answer. I just don't. So all this stuff is going on, and I'm basically in a very roundabout way saying this will be the most entertaining offseason, especially when these guys get to look at the draft. Tua, come out. There's no way you fall outside the top 5 with all the problems that are going on in the National Football League at the quarterback situation. Have you ever seen the quarterback situation this bad in the National Football League?
I think it's sort of a change, though. I don't know if it's bad necessarily. I just think it's
We
like a
got
change of
ballers like
style.
Lamar. We
saying
got Mahomes.
It's a style change.
But hold on. Well, what I'm saying is it is a style change. But
Like
it's not
Phillip
just that-
Rivers,
okay,
Tom Brady, the game seems to be
What I'm trying to
slowly
say is,
passing
okay,
them by,
here's what I'm
right?
trying. Yes, it is. What I'm trying to say is though, look at like how many years I've been doing this forever. Have you looked at a league and more than half the league is not comfortable with their quarterback situation? That's never in my lifetime happened. They've always had half the deadgum league is comfortable with their quarterback situation. Think about how long the guys like Phillip Rivers and Drew Brees and Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger and all these guys played. And now Big Ben is coming back off injury. And if you just look at the league, Tom Brady is getting older than all get out. Josh Allen's a pup in Buffalo, and they're 9-3 and doing pretty good. Who sold on Sam Darnold and the Jets? The Dolphins don't have anybody. Fitzpatrick, please stop it. The Ravens have a team because they have Lamar Jackson. The Steelers, who knows? They got Mike Tomlin holding this thing together with glue. Cleveland, do they believe in Baker Mayfield? The Bengals, Andy Dalton's a cap casualty. The Texans have Deshaun Watson. The Titans have Pooh. Indy doesn't know if they believe in Brissett. The Jaguars completely lost on the Foles situation and are probably going to go with Mustachio. Patrick Mahomes is good. Denver doesn't have Jack. The Raiders are completely a mess because they don't believe in Carr. And Phillip Rivers has more kids than playoff victories. So that's just, by the way, the American, that is the AFC, the American Football Conference. That was it. You go into the NFC, you got to deal with Dak. Carson Wentz looks like, oh my goodness. Oh, don't even get me started on what Haskin is and what he's going to become. The Giants have already given up on Daniel Jones and are going back to Manning, and he's what?
Daniel Jones is hurt.
I'm based.
He's
I
banged
know,
up.
but
he's banged up. Okay, but that is their
he's
guy
banged
going
up.
forward. We can't. I don't think it's fair, especially even Derek Carr. I don't think it's fair to say that they are completely uncomfortable with their quarterback.
I can tell you right now.
Position.
I can tell you right now.
And situation.
John Gruden. There's no way he is not comfortable with the quarterback situation. He said it. He's been asked 100 times. Is Derek Carr your guy? How many times have you been given the opportunity to say, yes, Derek Carr is my guy? And he said,
when has he ever said no, though?
He's never said yes. He said, well, he's got to go out and compete. That's it. And remember when he had...
I remember a few times.
When he had Rich Gannon, he talked about Rich Gannon as his guy, and I love Rich Gannon. I worship Rich Gannon.
Trying to get...
When he had Brad Johnson is my quarterback. He talks about Carr, and he's like, trust me.
I'm not trying to get deep into it, but when you look at what he did...
I know. Does not like him.
You talk about Hard Knocks. You talk about all of his... He said Derek Carr is his guy. They're 6-6. This is an improvement from last year. Last year, what were they, 3-13? They finally have pieces around him. He's a quarterback guy. Derek Carr has been there. He's done it. He knows what he's doing. I don't think
to Google it.
Maybe I have not seen
I was gonna say,
the discomfort.
Just Googling, the first thing that pops up, all I just put in was John Gruden. That's all I put in. Derek Carr and the relationship with John Gruden is on the rocks. Gruden does not believe in Derek Carr. This relation doesn't seem to be able to survive. Derek Carr may not last on Oakland Raiders under John Gruden. First 3 videos that popped up. Just put it in. It's right here. Bam. Simple as that. So I don't think I'm making up stuff. And yeah, I've heard it a lot. And they talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. And why would you believe in Derek Carr? like Derek Carr has given you what?
I just did the same thing and got Gruden backs Carr as quarterbacks critics again surface.
Well, dude, again, sorry, man. I'm sorry that you have.
There's conflicting reports. All I'm trying to get at is Derek Carr is not
on the video.
All I'm trying to say is, look, I'm not saying Derek Carr is going to be a long-term guy with them, but I'm saying I don't think it's as bad as saying that their situation is under fire right now with Derek Carr.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. When you compare it to some of the other quarterback controversies around the league, you look at the Broncos with Joe Flacco. Like, that is not a long-term fix. But I don't think Derek Carr is on the level of some of these other ones.
Well, I would say that he ain't. John Gruden wants somebody that can run his thing like Rich Gannon or somebody that he can believe in. And Derek Carr is somebody he doesn't believe in. And, again, he is basically, in John Gruden terms, said it. And I will go out there and be willing to just put a bet on it. John Gruden will not be coaching Derek Carr in two
I'm not
seasons.
doubting that. I'm not doubting that. I'm just compared to some of the other situations around the league.
Well,
I'm comparing it.
Well, the only ones that are comfortable, I think, is porn star Jimmy. I think Seattle loves Russell. And I think, of course, I don't know what's going to go on in the Saints. It's going to be interesting watching Breeze and what they do with Teddy Bridgewater. That one's going to fascinate me. Aaron Rodgers, he's a baller shot caller. And the Cowboys, they got to figure out about with Dak. But everybody else, it's like I said, across the league, I think this will unequivocally be the craziest season we've ever seen in the National Football League when it comes to quarterbacks. And if I was a kid coming out of college, this would be the ultimate year of ultimate years. Even injuries and size and all those questions that might surround Tua, people are just going to wash it all away because, as you heard, people are desperate. And I don't see many people wanting to re-sign Marcus Mariota or Ryan Tannehill or all these guys for a boatload of cash when they could go in there and give a baby contract to a Tua or a Joe Burrow or somebody like that. I think they're going to be hot commodities. Or Justin Hebert, Herbert, whatever, all that good stuff. But I'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Chad Gatlin is the man, the myth, the living legend. Coming up next, though, oh my goodness, I'm late. Lee Smith, we're going to wrap Grizzlies. I got to still make fun of Eli, and not make fun of Eli, but just explain to you, not make fun of it. It's more of take shots at the people who are calling me an idiot. Because, again, I'm just going to read to you the people who actually vote for the Hall of Fame and exactly what they said. And then you can just make your decision after that. But coming up next, Lee Smith. And don't forget, MemphisFarmers.com. My man, Chad Gatlin. He's always got your back. Home, auto, life, business. Chad Gatlin, MemphisFarmers.com. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 FM.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Looking for a newer, better job? Call Pro Resume. That's right. Memphis's premier resume service, Pro Resume, has been producing award-winning resumes and assisting with clients and job searches for over 20 years. And they'll be the first to tell you what's worked on resumes, 5-10 years ago, doesn't cut it today. In today's highly competitive job market, your resume is your direct line to new employment possibilities and more income. The wrong experience-related content, invalidated bullet points and achievements, even incorrect formatting can mean another lost employment opportunity. Is your resume communicating the information that will motivate a prospective employer to schedule an interview with you? Is your resume using the proper hiring criteria, buzzwords, and answering the posted position requirements? Pro Resume understands all the questions. It addresses them in every resume package it produces. Call today, 685-1950, or go to proresume.biz. The fastest way to a new job? Pro Resume.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948. It's that time of year. Come join us at Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, Thursday, December 12th, all day, 7 to 6. We're raising money and, most importantly, bringing toys for Mid-South Toys for Tots. Help the boys and girls of the Mid-South have a happy holiday. You can do it. Bring those new unwrapped toys, checks, cash. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, Thursday, December 12th, 7 to 6. Sponsored by Envy Nail Bar, Gateway Tire, David C. Nanny CPA in Hempville, South Haven, and Oxford.
Did you learn your ABCs when you were a kid? Well, as a grown-up, it's time to learn your CBDs, as in CBD edibles, oil tincture, pain cream, and beauty products. All found at Your CBD Store, with 3 locations, Poplar Avenue, North Germantown Parkway, and Goodman Road East. You'll find all natural, organic, and non-GMO products. Need to learn more? Your CBD Store has a knowledgeable and friendly staff that can answer questions, help with choices, and put you at ease about your CBDs. Your CBD Store, with 3 locations, Poplar Avenue, Cordova, and South Haven. Your CBD Store, making it as easy for you as ABC CBD.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Thick and thin, I'm your pusher man. I'm your pusher man.
What is up? What is up? Welcome back into a little Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. And I want to remind y'all a lot of things. I want to remind you that Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. I'm in the Family Leisure studios. Family Leisure, though, is at 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. And you can go out there, turn that bad boy into a man cave. Do whatever. You can go do your Christmas shopping. They got buy one, get half off Christmas sale going down. Everything out there is the real deal Holyfield. You looking for a pool table. You looking for an arcade. You looking for a massage chair, hot tub, party in the hot tub. Ow! No, for real, though. Family Leisure, it's really going on. But for real, put it in your calendar because it's a week from today. Next week, we will be at Family Leisure for Toys for Tots. My favorite day of the year. We're really going to bring, and when you go out there and you bring toys, these toys go to the little boys and girls in the Mid-South, and it just brings smiles to their faces. It's really, really cool. It's one of my favorite things of the year. Please come out there and see us. And remember, bring an unwrapped toy, bring some cash, bring something, because there's a lot of kids that without your help wouldn't have a very, very Merry Christmas, but we're going to make sure that they have a very Merry Christmas because every year y'all show up in bunches. And don't forget, December 12th, a week from today, Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. And it literally is. It's so important because it's just so important to put a smile on a kid's face. Now, how's my homie Lee Smith doing?
Man, I'm doing good, brother. How about you?
Man, you know I'm hanging in there. I'm always hanging in there, dude. Having a lot of fun. Always arguing with everybody and their grandmother about this and that, making life very, very interesting. But I got to ask you something, man. Before we get too involved in the Grizzlies, is there even a question? Like, I can't believe I was hearing this the other day. Anthony Davis is doing great. Damn right he's doing great. But, dude, Anthony Davis never did jack before he was with LeBron James. And now I'm hearing people already telling me, man, can't you tell Anthony Davis is already, like, he's a lot better with, than LeBron James already. He's the best player in the world. No. Anthony Davis, now that he's with LeBron, they're winning. Anthony Davis, you can sit there and pull out your advanced analytics and your advanced stats and say he's scoring and do what it. When you got LeBron James running the point and you got LeBron James' vision, and you got him helping you become what he's helping you become, don't sit there and take away from LeBron James is basically what I'm saying. And I'm just asking you as a basketball fan, do those people out there need to go and, check themselves before they wreck themselves?
I think Anthony Davis himself would smack those people, man, that would say, like, obviously he's a very talented
Very,
player,
like top
you know,
five player in the world, but to say that he's carrying LeBron James, I'm like, what in
Yeah,
the
that's absurd.
bleep?
That's absurd. You want to know what's carrying LeBron James right now? This is his first time he actually had some rest in the summer. That's what's carrying LeBron James.
I agree.
Obviously, the Lakers didn't make the playoffs last year, and for the first time in almost a decade, LeBron got to sit out the playoffs. And you think about that, man. You know, you go to the playoffs, if you make it all the way to the finals, you have played at least 12 more games each year. That's if you sweep everybody, which LeBron's teams didn't. You know, so if you accumulate that over the course of, you know, almost 10 years, LeBron has probably played the equivalent of an additional season, maybe a season and a half. I haven't done the exact math on how much mileage he has. So don't underestimate the fact that he didn't play, you know, in the playoffs this past year all the way up through the finals, and he actually got to rest up. Don't underestimate how important that is to the way that he's playing right now and the fact that he's still in the MVP conversation, even in his, age 15 season now?
The fact that he's, you know, first in the league in assists, you know, he's actually tied, I think, with Rajon Rondo, both at 12, and he's LeBron James. You know what I mean? I mean, he's
right.
got 12 assists a game. And, oh, by the way, he's also doing it by, you know, scoring, 25 a game, you know, grabbing boards, doing all the things that he does. I mean, them together is a scary it's a scary deadgum duo.
I have to put this out, though. Did you see the footage of LeBron traveling?
Oh, no, I did not.
Oh, there's some footage on you'll check it out. It's online. But they were playing Utah last night, and LeBron is bringing the ball down the court, and he's dribbling. He literally picks the ball up, right, and walks like 4 steps, puts the ball back down, and dribbles. The guy that's guarding him jumps up and down and looks at the ref and like, what are you doing?
Wow, that is a
what I
trip.
mean when
I
you
can't
see
wait
it.
to see this.
Yeah, it's so bad that LeBron was on after the game. Apparently, somebody showed him the video, and he was like,
"Ooh,
wow, that's very bad. I feel bad for the ref for not calling that because he's going to be the one that catches flack over this, not me."
Exactly. Exactly. Now, I want to remind everybody this is Lee Smith, TSDMemphis.com. Their publication also comes out today, but don't forget online at TSDMemphis.com. For you old heads, try-staydefender.com. That's just what I've always remembered, and I still do it. But now, Lee, I do have to ask you back to the Grizzlies. And
yeah.
I'm just kind of curious. When you're right now, you know, I know it's a little hard for maybe Grizzlies fan with, you know, Clark and Ja, you know, trying to get healthy. Can you tell some of the fans what is kind of going on with them because they are so tight-lipped over there?
Well, one of the things that we're seeing happen with the Grizz, specifically when it comes to Ja Morant, is back spasms.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier games, I want to say it was Minnesota, but definitely during one of those earlier games, he took a tough spill and kind of landed gingerly on his back. You know how that guy throws himself into the lane, and you know, as exhilarating as it is to watch Ja
plays
Morant
high, man, plays way up in the air.
As exhilarating as it is to watch him do that, you cringe a little bit because you're like, dude, don't hurt yourself, right? Because there are guys in the NBA who don't want to be shown up by the hotshot young rookie with, you know, the twist flying everywhere. And so some of them were starting to go at him a little bit harder. I'm not saying anybody undercut him, but the bottom line is he had some back spasms. And I don't know if you've ever had back spasms before, but they can really, cripple you. It's a different type of injury because, you know, it's not like you can just put additional support on it. It's not like you can just put a wrap on it and treat it and then, you know, get back out there. That's why they're declaring him more week to week because you just have to kind of evaluate, you know, how he's feeling. I don't know the latest with Brandon Clark, but obviously the team is missing both of those guys because Brandon Clark has his production when you look at player efficiency ratings, is off the chart. Not just for a rookie, but for any player.
Man, it's just now the other thing, since you said when you brought up the rookie, I'm gonna ask you something. Everybody feels so blessed, and the Grizzlies do feel extremely blessed to have this rookie in Ja, who's just out of control. Now, I did hear somebody say this the other day, like, man, they got really, really lucky, but man, they were almost super lucky. Could you imagine if they would have gotten the 3 the year before and Luka would have fallen to them as well? Is there any chance, like some people seem to be thinking, and I'm not sure if they're right and I'm not sure if they're wrong. I really honestly don't know because, again, Luka's in his second year, and he does look like, he's 20 years old. He's like, honestly, he looks like one of the greatest basketball players you've ever seen. The young man is doing everything. He's a double-double, can be a triple-double machine. He just goes out there and does it. I think it's going to be interesting to see how he grows in Dallas. But I'm curious. Do you think Luka, is he head and shoulders is he a lot better than Ja? Or do you see, hey, they could be comparable for each franchise going forward?
I love Luka's game. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun watching, his game continue to develop and evolve. The scary thing is, like you said, he's just in his second year. And he's he's still only
20.
Like 20.
Yeah, he's 20 years old. He's a pup like Ja.
So as scary good as this guy is, he's going to get better. That should actually terrify a good bit of the league. Relative to whether or not the Grizzlies get him, that's one of those butterfly effect situations. You could make the case that if the Grizzlies had Luka last season, if Luka plays point guard, so now Mike Conley becomes disposable, and maybe you trade him sooner. Maybe you win more games with Luka, and you don't you end up conveying the pick. There are just so many different ways that scenario could play out and could have played out. But I still like the idea. Right now the Grizzlies have two things that fans have been clamoring for. That we've for decades, not decades, okay, years, but really even during the Core 4 era. As fun as it was to play that kind of retro, back to the basket kind of bully ball that Zach and Mark helped establish, the Grizzlies have never had that dynamic throw the ball to me in the fourth quarter, I'll take over a game kind of player like they have in Ja Morant right now. And in Jaren Jackson, they've never had that lanky, athletic, kind of above the rim, but can still hit the three power forward. They've been wanting those for years. And now you have two of them at the same time, and they seem to like each other and play well together. So we're absolutely at the dawn of a different era of Grizzlies basketball, and one that I think fans have been wanting to see for a long time.
Yeah, I think it is going to be awesome. watching Trey J grow, watching everything grow with the Grizzlies is going to be great. The one thing, though, I'm going to say goodbye before I have to, though, but I have to leave you on this because I was so shocked when I heard it. Paul Pierce said that he thinks Luka Doncic is arguably going to be the best player in a couple of years. Do you ever think anybody will make that same argument for possibly Ja?
That's a very good question. I think Ja is going to be in that conversation, assuming he can stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably going to be the biggest thing for him. One of the things that we're going to be watching for in Ja's development is I have to imagine that, whether it's honestly, himself or his dad and family around him, and almost certainly the team. I can't imagine there's anybody saying, hey, we need to get more weight on this kid. He needs to bulk up some. You don't want to put so much, mass on him that it changes what it is that he does. But he does need to, be able to take the kind of punishment that he's going to get with the way that his game, his attacking the basket kind of game is. So, but if he has a little bit more bulk and is able to be more durable, he'll certainly be in the conversation of one of the best. You know how we are now, like it depends on whose game you like. You know, you could say Luka, you could say Giannis, who's the reigning MVP. Of course, you could say LeBron. And, you know, if you're even in that conversation, that says a lot about the kind of player you are. And I do think that Ja will be considered one of the best players in the NBA if he can stay healthy and, of course, if the team is able to win with him.
Man, you heard it right from Lee Smith's mouth. Check him out on tsdmemphis.com. Also pick up the paper as it came out today. Lee, you be good. I'll talk to you next week, and whatever you do, either stay out of trouble or be really good at it.
I appreciate you, Johnny Radio. Take care of yourself, bro.
Take care. That's my friend Lee Smith. Now, we're going to be right back, and I'm going to remind you, we're all friends. Don't forget, for all those kids out there that you're friends with, Toys for Tots, December 12th. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. We'll be right back on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
Ian Eagle and Tony Baselli here from Westwood One with a Thursday night football preview. We're in Chicago for primetime NFC action between the Bears and the Dallas Cowboys coming up at Soldier Field. Tony, both teams are 6-6, but that's where the similarities end.
That's right, Ian. The Chicago Bears are playing good football, winners of 2 straight, and the big one on Thanksgiving Day. While the Dallas Cowboys, they are searching for answers right now. They've lost 2 straight, and offensively, they're only averaging 12 points a game in those losses. The Bears are fighting to stay relevant in the playoff picture and trying to make the wild card, while the Dallas Cowboys are holding on to the NFC East.
Looking forward to it, Tony. A lot on the line when the Chicago Bears host the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
The Home Depot is giving Santa's Workshop a run for its money with free power tools from top brands like DeWalt, Milwaukee, Rigid, Ryobi, and Makita. Buy a select power tool or battery kit from any one of these trusted brands and get another select tool from the same brand free. Even Santa can't beat that. Free select power tools from top brands, only from the Home Depot Gift Center. More saving, more doing. Valid through February 2nd while supplies last.
Napa know-how. Right now, a 5-quart jug of Napa full synthetic motor oil in a platinum filter is just $23.98. That's a great deal for a great oil, which is another reason why this is the most wonderful time of the year. That's Napa full synthetic oil in a platinum filter for $23.98. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. While supplies last. Offer ends 12/15/19.
Your nationally ranked Memphis Tigers are playing host to Cincinnati in the American Athletic Conference Football Championship game on Saturday at 2:30 p.m. This is the 3rd straight championship game appearance for the Tigers, but this time it's at home. Tickets start at just $20 and are available now at GoTigersGo.com or by calling 901-678-2331. Memphis versus Cincinnati on Saturday, December 7th at Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium. Be there and help the Tigers win the AAC Championship and a trip to the Cotton Bowl.
Stripe up.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
If you find yourself plumb tuckered out by all the holiday shopping and whatnot this holiday season, call yourself a timeout and go get some delicious breakfast or lunch at Sunrise on Jefferson. Get away from all the hustle and bustle and settle into a perfect breakfast bowl for breakfast or an unbeatable burger for lunch. The menu at Sunrise is full of surprises, so you'll never get tired of stopping in. You'll always find something you haven't tried at Sunrise, and we guarantee it'll be just as great as everything else you've had. The holidays can be pretty exhausting, so give yourself a break by giving yourself some Sunrise.
Now, back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Here we go. This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Well, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. For if we don't find the next whiskey bar, I tell you we must die. I tell you
OMG, I'm gonna blow your minds away. And by the way, B-Well, I just want you to know this is going to anger so many of you, but this is going to be one of the most fun things I've ever done in my life because you can't argue with the stats. And when the truth comes out, why? You know what? To tell you the truth, nothing pisses people off like the truth, doesn't it?
You can't run from it, though.
Dude, nothing ticks people off like the truth. They have, like, this belief. I ain't going to lie to you. I was, like 9 or 10 years old. I found out the truth, and I was furious. I even said, why'd you ruin this year for me? I'm trying to, like, talk to adults only, and I think y'all understand what I'm talking about. But I went from not being able to sleep to, because I was so excited, to not being able to sleep because of my fury and my anger. And I think people understand what I'm saying.
When you found Santa Claus was real?
Hush! Yes, when I found out Santa Claus was real. I was, for some reason, angry. I used to want to think that my parents were sweet.
Tooth Fairy, that was a bad day, too.
Dude, when the Tooth Fairy came over, I fell in love with her, man. And then she flew away when
I
turned 13. Yeah, she's a hottie. And then she flew away and never came back once I turned 13. I don't know how that happened. But I do want to bring this up because we're about to get into a little bit of Hardwood. I got some great Belichick audio that we're going to play, but I did want to bring this up because I want people at 67129, I want you texters to get involved with this. And I brought up the Eli Manning situation because, and the only reason I brought it up is because he's 116 and 116. He is about to start again because, well, Daniel's hurt. Sorry, Daniel. That's what they're saying. But Eli, if he loses and goes under, if he's 116 and 117, and he goes as a sub-500 quarterback, what is that going to do? And I'm going to point out some stats. And again, I want to remind y'all, the only thing I'm going to do here in a few minutes is read to y'all what somebody went out and did some amazing work, and they went out, and I'm going to explain this to you, and this is how it works. A lot of people don't understand how the Hall of Fame works. So here I am to explain it to you. There's an annual list of 100 nominees. It's narrowed to 15 finalists by 48 voters. A Hall of Fame class cannot include more than 5 modern era inductees. You have to have an 80% yes vote that is needed. So therefore, unless the 5-year waiting period from retirement and uneligible players is met, that would be for Manning, he'd have to pass that, that would be bad, then you cannot receive more than 9 no votes and make it into the Hall of Fame, okay? And if you get 10 from the committee members, like if they extend it or whatever, like 10 votes, 10 no's even like messes you up. 9 messes you up in the first 5 years, 10 messes you up afterwards. But what I'm bringing this up is because a man went out there and did some great work, and I'm going to tell you about his work. He has interviewed the 48 voters of the Hall of Fame, okay? Some of them did not want to talk, but 11 of them gave Manning his yes votes. 10 of them said no. 9 said they were undecided. 9 declined to reveal one way or the other. And again, there was a few other ones who basically just wouldn't even talk to him. But that's a lot. And again, you can't have 10 no's. I have them right here. Okay? This just happened. I got to give a lot of credit. The gentleman who actually did the work, again, is Ryan Dunleavy for the New Jersey Advanced Media for NJ.com. And again, he went out, talked to these people, and I'm going to just read to you what people like Jason Cole, Sal Palantonio, Ira Miller, Dan Fouts, and then a whole bunch of people who decided to stay anonymous. But I'm just going to read to you what they say, and it's all about the knocks on Eli, the love of Eli, the ones who say yes, and then the ones who are undecided. And then also I'm going to give you a little bit about importance of record. So this might not be as clear-cut, as easy as you have thought. And one guy put in something that I know that's going to really tick you off, so I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Eli is considered one of the most clutch quarterbacks in the NFL, and if he comes out as ranking as one of the most clutch quarterbacks in the NFL, well, guess who's number 2? Right behind him, according to the same metric, his buddy Colin Kaepernick. Eli has 18 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 8-4, all 8 wins in that Super Bowl run. Kaepernick 4-2. Eli has an 87.4 QBR. Kaepernick is an 87.3. Interesting stuff. We'll be back in 2 shakes on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 FM.
Geico presents, not again, another voicemail from your roommate.
Hey, man, so I was in a rush to get to work and I left the back door open. Could you shut it? I left it wide open. While you're there, could you also turn off the oven? And all of the burners. My mom never let me use the oven. I wonder why.
The Geico Insurance Agency could help keep your personal property protected, like if it's your roommate's first time operating an oven. Visit geico.com to see how easy it is to switch and save on renter's insurance.
Need Christmas gifts for friends, family, even yourself? Now's the time to buy at Family Leisure. Buy one item for someone special, you get the second for yourself at half off. Pool tables as low as $14.99. Hot tubs as low as $1,400. Arcades as low as $9.99. Massage chairs, you can get one as low as $6.99. There's so much to choose from now through Christmas Eve. Get your Christmas shopping done at Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, where family fun and the holidays all come together.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings & Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings & Grill is family-friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings & Grill.
Do you suffer from pain, stress, anxiety, depression, PTSD, arthritis, and multiple sclerosis? You want an all-natural way to manage these conditions. Hempville is unlike any CBD store you've ever seen. It's not a one-size-or-brand-fits-all. Hempville has a variety of CBD applications and brand names. They have a well-trained professional staff to help educate you on CBD and what application is best for your individual needs. Hempville has 2 locations to serve you. South Haven at 562 Goodman Road East and Oxford at 1801 Jackson Avenue West. Hempville, where your relief is their mission.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. This hour is brought to you by your CBD store, your one-stop for all your natural, organic, and non-GMO CBD products, where good health hits home.
Get out right here. Ladies and gentlemen, and now?
Now, the only man to ever win the World Series of Poker with a Scrabble board, Johnny Harden.
Dude, winning the World Series of Poker with a Scrabble board, still one of the best things I've ever done. One of the other things that was great, well, I went to Gatlin Insurance, MemphisFarmers.com this year. No joke. Saw my buddy Chad. I said, hey, Chad, what's up, man? He's like, what's up, John? So then we started working. I'm like, so you the real deal Holyfield? He's like, bro, I got the power of farmers, the knowledge of Memphis. Let's dominate. So I give him my stuff. I tell him what's up. And then you know what he does? Like 2 weeks after I sign up with him, interest rates go down. Calls me up and says, guess what? Give me 10 minutes of your time. I'm like, for what? It's like, I thought he wanted some like insurance, like he was going to tell me to say something on the radio. You know what he did? He's like, give me some numbers, blah, blah, blah. You want to keep everything the same? I'm like, yeah. He's like, cool. Sent this thing back to me. I signed it. Saved me $400 in change. That was the coolest things ever. You know how nice that is? That's what I said, man. MemphisFarmers.com. Go see my man, Chad Gatlin. You'll be so glad you did. Now, thank you for tuning in to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. I am in such a good mood. It's a Thursday. That means it's ladies' night. And the feeling's right. Plus, it's like a Friday's Eve. We got good football tonight. Plus, a couple people in the text line came in and said, hey, I got a Christmas kid this year through Salvation Army. Johnny, I've never felt this good. Have all the people step up. Thank you, sir or ma'am. That is exactly correct. It is the season of giving. And when you go out there and you do nice things like we are on December 12th, Toys for Tots out at Family Leisure, I promise you, there is nothing like people like when I was young, it was fun to receive. Like I liked getting stuff when I was a kid. Promise you, man, there's nothing that makes you feel better than to give. And that is a fact. When I was little, I loved like receiving stuff. I was like, give me toys, give me. But when you get a little bit older, man, go out there and you do something for some of the elderly or somebody that's a little less fortunate, or you bring some smile to some young kid's face. It's definitely the most rewarding thing in the whole wide world. It's better than any package I've ever opened. But you got to just go out there and do it. You step up. I know you can. And if you want to step up on the 12th. That's a week from today. We'll be out at 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40, out at Family Leisure. That is where family and fun come together. Come out there and join us for Toys for Tots, and let's make all the kids in the Mid-South smile this Christmas like you've never seen. Now, I'm going to tell some people out there that we're about to make you smile because we got some audio from my buddy Gabe.
Now listen, okay, we're gonna play a little game with this because I think it'll be pretty fun.
Let's do it.
So, Belichick's, okay, Bill Belichick coaches the Patriots. Everyone knows that. He's been a head coach for years. He's won a lot of Super Bowls. He hired his son onto his
nepotism,
coaching staff.
Shocking.
Whatever. It is what it is. He's probably taught him everything he knows. He probably knows a lot. But Steve Belichick is now the safeties coach for the New England Patriots. Now, they sound exactly the same. There was a video that surfaced today. You know, I might play it, I might not. We'll see what happens here. But I want you to guess right now. We're going to do this with you, John. Steve Belichick or Bill Belichick, okay? Now, I'm going to play a clip. And you're going to let me know, after I stop it, who you think it is. You ready to do this?
Dig this. I dig it. Let's do it.
Ready to roll?
Let's rock.
First clip.
I don't know. I haven't really thought about how it correlates. It's just trying to do my thing, and I think that that's what's best. So,
Steve.
Okay, good call. Good start.
Dude,
good start. Good
I'm
start.
doing good. You know how I could tell that wasn't Bill?
How?
Because when he opened up with the very first line, did you notice how he almost sounded like a
He was a little too loud.
childlike?
He was a little too
and
loud.
he was a little bit loud, like, but he had a little bit of a childlike, and then he went down to the muddle. So that kind of gave
All right.
it away.
All right. Second clip. You ready? Having trouble over here.
Yeah, if this happens.
Here we go. You ready?
Let's do it.
for a while, like I said, football's my thing. I remember watching Primetime with Chris Berman back when I lived in Cleveland. And
Definitely his son, Steve.
Oh, okay, man. You're on it, man.
He gave it away when
You're
he said he was
on
watching
it.
it back in Berman in Cleveland.
You are on it right now. Here we go. You ready?
All right, I'm ready.
You can go all the way back to a few hundred years BC. Sun Tzu, The Art of War.
What do you think?
Dude, that one's tough. That sounds like a Bill comment, but
You need,
really
you
think
need a
it's
run back?
Steve.
You need me to run it back?
Actually, yeah, play that one more
All
time.
right, here we go.
You can go all the way back to a few hundred years BC. Sun Tzu, The Art of War.
Okay, come on. Steve or Bill? Which Belichick is it?
Dude, that one sounds like Bill, but I think you're trying to trick me, so I'm going Steve.
That was Bill. You're
Damn
wrong.
it, I thought
You're
you were
wrong.
pulling a trick on me.
All right.
They are so close.
I have two more. I
All right,
have
let's
two
go,
more
let's go.
for you. I have two more.
Hey, I'm 2 out of 3.
You're 2 out of 3.
Man, I thought you were tricking me, man.
Here we go. Set.
between me and him, yeah.
What's the best way to
We laugh about him now.
When did you first start watching film? Like he started when he was in high school.
I've been watching it for
Steve.
a while.
That was obvious. Dang, man. All right. One more. One more for you. I got one more. This one, it better be obvious. If you don't get this off top, I'm gonna guess if you even know who the Belichicks are.
They did a good job executing.
That's Bill.
that concludes which Belichick is it?
That's his go-to. That was really good, Gabe. Thank you very much. By the way, the third one that you gave me, I thought for sure that was Bill, but like
You thought I was throwing you for a loop.
I thought you were.
That's what I was
throwing me
going
a
for,
loop
man.
because you mixed
As
the
long
whole
as you
Sun
miss
Tzu
one. I need
thing.
you to miss one.
I was like, dude, this one's he's tricking me on this one because he's using a Bill Belichick statement, but the dude does talk. So he took the beginning part.
How similar is that, though?
But
I mean,
weird.
it's ridiculous.
I can tell the difference in them in the first few seconds, but the longer he talks, the more he sounds like Bill.
They got the little mumble talk just like this, and I think they went out and they
He comes out
executed
higher,
really well.
though.
They executed really well, and I just
Hey,
really
he comes
think-
out higher. He does come out higher.
No, but I mean,
by the
that's-
way, can I tell you all
that's
total sidebar, everybody
Okay.
out there? You know how we talked about aliens yesterday? You won't even believe this. You know how there's the ancient aliens thing
Of course,
that you got me watching?
No, aliens. I mean, yes.
Aliens rock, okay?
Of course.
We learned these things about exoplanets yesterday. But did you know that, I'm going to make you laugh really hard. Did you know that there's a bunch of stoners on Vice that watch Ancient Aliens with a wrestler, a genie, some filmmaker, and a pothead, and they just like watch Giorgio Tsoukalos and all those alien people, and they take bong tokes, and it's on TV, and I can't figure out how they got this job. Why don't we have this job?
Wait,
I'll do
wait,
it.
whoa. What station?
Pull it. It's on Vice.
Really?
I swear.
I need to watch this,
Can
man.
I tell you something, man? This was.
I'm the one who turned you on the alien stuff.
Dude, let me tell you something, man. It's so, you know how like your TV gets really smart now, and it gives you the like it tries to tell you it's
Suggestions,
for
yeah.
you. Yeah. So it said Ancient Aliens, and I'm like, cool. What is it? But then I was like, it's on Vice. I'm like, I'm so confused. What's going on with this?
Yeah, this was a sidebar. We went from Belichick's to aliens.
Because
It's
it
a
was very
sidebar, man.
important, because you were talking about the difference. Oh, because I'm talking about the difference, because this wasn't watching about ancient aliens. This was watching, like, it was like a train wreck. I don't even know how to explain it. Have you seen this yet, though?
I haven't. I have to, though. It sounds incredible.
Please, everybody out there at 67129, help me out or call me in at 901-360-8255, and please tell me you've seen this crazy show, because I don't even know who these people are, but I do know it said in the info that one of them was a sumo wrestler or a wrestler, maybe not sumo, but he was like a WWE wrestler, I think. One was a lady, was like, she said she was a genie. There was another dude who was just a pothead musician, and somebody else who was like famous, who was just like making noise and making fun of Sucralose, and they were literally watching the TV, and then they would argue about the segments, whether they believed it or not. Like, it was the funniest 30 minutes I've like. It was
the fact that you can get paid for that.
Well, that's what I was basically saying. It's like 30 minutes of, I couldn't believe it.
You just feel like you have the wrong job. Like, that's a great job.
Like,
how'd you get that gig?
I don't even know how that thing got on television, man. I just wonder if anybody else out in the world saw this, or am I the only person? If I'm the only person in the world that saw this, then I'm going to be very scared. But I think one of the guys is really famous. But I need to get back to what I was doing. Now, I need to get back to ticking people off. Are y'all ready to get people upset? Well, let's do this. For all you people out there who are unequivocally saying that Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer, it is a slam dunk, no doubt about it. Don't even need to talk about it. Shut up. This is stupid. Well, I'm here to explain to you that you might want to look back at, this audio, or go and read NewJersey.com, because my man did a lot of work. And I'm going to tell you what he did. He went out there and he talked to all the voters. And they came out, and again, 39 of the 48 members of the committee agreed to the survey and basically took questions on him. And it was very, very, very fascinating. And again, he was 116 and 116 when he sat. And it's a 500 career regular season. Never was an All-Pro. The only postseason game he ever won was on those 2 runs, and they were great runs. Don't get me wrong. He won Super Bowl in 2012, Super Bowl in 2007. He was a baller. Like, congratulations. You did great things. Being a 2-time Super Bowl winner, I mean, Joe Namath, Sonny Jurgensen, they're the only ones in the modern era. But you know who else has a couple wins but was omitted from the Hall of Fame? Have you ever heard of Jim Plunkett? Jim Plunkett won 2 Super Bowls in the 80s. He didn't get in. Just reminding you, and he had actually a winning record. So it's just, I just wanted you to look at and listen to what I'm trying to say. And again, I went and got the vote. So there were 11 people that said, yes, Manning is unequivocally a Hall of Famer and getting my votes. Those people are Sal Powell. He said, I'm going to vote for Eli first ballot. He was great then. It's going to count the most. Manning is a top flight passing number and a magnificent durability to cement his legacy of greatness. He's been a great ambassador for the game, the team he represents, in my opinion, Hall of Famer. Scott Garso, whatever, I don't know, some dude important. He's a voter. He says his numbers, top 8 all-time in yards and touchdowns, postseason success so overlooked because of what he did, plus 210 consecutive starts. Sure, he's thrown more interceptions than anybody. But Brett Favre threw a lot of interceptions. Joe Namath had a losing record. They're in the Hall of Fame. The last few years haven't been pretty. In fact, they've been pretty bad. But why do we have to wait 5 years before we vote? By then, it'll be easier to see the totality of the Hall of Fame career versus a declining 38-year-old guy who held on for way too long. Again, yeah, I mean, but like, you can't take away the past 8 seasons of absolute. I mean, he had a sub 500 record in the last 8 seasons and didn't win a single postseason game. Sorry. Another dude comes in and says his overall body of work is worthy of induction. He says also the numbers are there to keep him out, but it's all about an entire career, and what he did to stop the greatest team of all time gets him in for me. Another one. I will vote for Eli Manning on the first ballot. He earned my vote nearly 8 years ago with his 2nd Super Bowl championship and 2nd Super Bowl MVP.
So what I'm hearing is it's more about optics to get him into the Hall of Fame than actually about production and numbers. The production, I guess, as far as the 2 Super Bowls, that's good production. But it's more about the optics of what he did in his career than actual numbers.
Like I was getting ready to say, or even the perception of you or being a great player at all. So these are all the people that are saying, yes, he's a Hall of Famer. So now I need to get into like the other person. Like one person also said, yes, he said, Phillip Rivers is getting my consideration for the Hall of Fame. So I definitely have to put Eli in. He has 2 Super Bowl wins and outperformed Tom Brady. Again, the defense that the New York Giants had and the way they held the Patriots, that also needs to be said. But then the knocks on Eli. Jason Cole says Eli played a lot of his career as if he rolled out of bed on Saturday morning from a frat house after a serious mega kegger the night before. He was obviously talented, had a lot of fun, and sometimes he was great. Sometimes he wasn't. And sometimes he was really damn bad. And that probably was just his approach. I'm just saying, for me, no way he's Hall of Fame worthy. Jason Cole. Ira Miller, the Sports Exchange. He has the same passer rating as Joe Flacco, and they were contemporaries. And I don't think a lot of people put Joe Flacco in the Hall of Fame, even though he had one great postseason run. Whip-de-doo, he had one more run than Joe Flacco. Another person. Eli made the plays to win the biggest game of his life. I saw a great quarterback in those moments, but those moments were so few and far between. He was a bust, and he doesn't deserve a bust in Canton. Watching week in and week out, as I did way too often, I never saw a Hall of Fame worthy quarterback. His 1 year that was supposedly great, his best year where he was a top 10 QBR, he was so average, not even mentioned for MVP. His resume just isn't good enough. Yeah, he's a good quarterback and he won 2 Super Bowls, but those Super Bowl teams won more because of defense than offense. To be essentially a 500 quarterback throughout your career, and then because you won 2 games thanks to your defense, and you're going to get a bust in Canton, he's just a good quarterback with a great name and way too damn inconsistent to be in the Hall of Fame. One other person, and there's a couple of them that are really, really good that I'm not going to say because I love people that live in Oxford and I want them to continue to listen to me. And it says, one guy says, I know opponents don't. I says, I've talked to many defensive coaches and opponents, and nobody ever lived in fear of Eli Manning. I've watched Eli for 15 years, and not once have I ever thought, I'm watching a Hall of Famer who's leading this team. But if you have to bet, Eli's going to make it, not because of how he played, not because of what he ever did, but because of his last name and because he played in New York. And everything that happens in New York is just bigger. Now, last but not least, relevance of record. These are people who said they don't know. And they just said it's not Eli's fault that Jerry Reese wasn't a good steward of free agent money, or that someone gave him the regrettable Ben McAdoo or the Dave Gettleman, ran a double reverse with Odell Beckham Jr., or that Eric Flowers wasn't very good at football. But if we balance those out, Eli also had the best defense possibly ever in Super Bowls. Weighing all of these things, imagine Roethlisberger, Rivers, Manning. If they were in different places, what would their careers be like? Rivers and Roethlisberger, I think they could play at different eras in different places. Manning, I'm not so sure. That makes sense, too. Kind of like that. And he was great, though, for New York because he was so just, nonchalant. And then another one just basically says, stack up all the quarterbacks of his era. Stack them all up. If he comes in the top 10 in 1 year, man, maybe you can put him in the Hall of Fame. Then it says ... not. Then it says, again, go back and look at every single year he played. Look at every single quarterback. Never, ever did I have him higher than 9th. That, if you're never more than the 9th best quarterback, even the year you won the Super Bowl, really, what does that say?
We know what he was as a player
So does-
year
so-
in, year out.
can I ask
but
you a
but
question?
the 2 Super Bowls and beating Tom Brady are the
Well, this is what I
equivalent
was gonna
to
say.
some people as a Hall of Fame career.
Okay, and this is where I was going with this last but not least. So does it matter about your career? Is it a Hall of Fame career, or is it about Hall of Fame moments? Because if it's just about moments, well then, yeah, I guess Eli's a Hall of Famer. But again, and then this is where I'm going to just tick people off, and I'm going to just tell it how it is, because I get so many people who don't defend Jim Plunkett. Jim Plunkett was a starting quarterback for both Raiders Super Bowls in the 80s. His career numbers aren't the greatest in the world, but guess what? He won when it counted, just like everybody tries to say about Eli Manning. And again, he's not in the Hall of Fame and has a better winning record. But I also was going to say this. This is going to, if he's a sub 500, it's going to hurt. But again, this is where people, and I'm saying this to make you think, and I'm kind of saying this to bother you, because I know how many people who send in things about Colin Kaepernick and they get really upset about him. They get ticked off when they talk about him, and I don't blame you. But again, if we're talking about just football, Kaepernick never once threw more than 10 interceptions in a season. In fact, he finished his career with 72 passing touchdowns to 30 interceptions. In the postseason, he's 4-2. In the postseason, Manning's 18-9. 8-4. Sorry. 8-4. He's 4-2. In the postseason, Manning on the clutch was 84 on the clutch meter. 87.4. Cab is 87.3. And I'm just bringing these things up. Cab also rushed for 17 touchdowns, 2,807 yards, a 6.6 yard per rushing average. He threw less interceptions. Had a bet. The winning and the regular seasons are almost the same. So again, I'm just saying, you can bring it up in completion percentage. Eli Manning, 60.3. Kaepernick, 60. They're almost identical. And then if you go with like QBR and their rating, you don't even want to know that, because your boy Eli loses, unfortunately. And I love Eli. And again, I want y'all to continue to listen to me. But basically what I'm just trying to say is, if we're going to have these discussions, if it's about a career, then I get it. But if it's about moments, then you need to let me know. Because I thought Hall of Fame was about a career, and his career is not a Hall of Fame worthy career. Now, I'm late for a break because I got to bring in Isaac. I didn't even get into Hardwood, but before I do, my man had the funniest story, and we have to get to that. Gabe?
And it's like funny in a very ridiculous, and usually when we do Hardwood stories, it's about social awareness, right? Like people have no social awareness. But did you hear about the San Francisco 49ers radio analyst, their color commentator, Tim Ryan?
I did not hear about this until, honestly, you pointed it out to me.
He has been suspended by the 49ers Wednesday after, on a Bay Area radio station, he decided that it was a good idea. I don't know where he thought that this would be okay to say, but what he said, I have audio on it. I don't want to play the audio. He said Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson's dark skin helps him disguise a dark football when running fake handoffs in Baltimore's zone read heavy offense. And obviously, the Niners just came off a loss to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. But look, man, I think this is kind of ridiculous and funny in the fact that, where's your social awareness? Like, would you ever say you're on the radio every day? This guy is on the radio consistently. He knows the pulse of what people want to hear. He knows what can't be said. He knows what's racy.
I'm shocked.
And you think, one, that's a good point to make, because that's an awful point. Play fakes are play fakes, man. It has nothing to do with the color of someone's skin. If the ball can get blended, like, no, we're not doing that. Okay,
that's pretty.
And then also,
that's just unbelievable.
I'm sorry, it's just ridiculous, man. Like,
oh wow,
and that's
so
where
what,
it
did
usually
he get suspended.
Yeah, he got suspended. Stephen A. Smith actually came out this morning and said they shouldn't suspend him for the rest of the season, which was very interesting to me. I'm not saying he should be suspended forever. Like, this isn't of all the racial quote-unquote attacks. It's probably not the worst one I've ever heard.
No, it's more of a just like
it's more of like you're an idiot,
like dude.
Come on,
honestly,
wake up, bro.
Like I thought it was for sure like some like an in living color skit from way back then, or Chappelle Show, or somebody was the Onion now on Twitter.
That's when I read it. When I read it, I thought it
College Humor. Like I think like,
when I read it, I thought it was an Onion story. I mean,
Yeah,
I genuinely
story.
thought it was an Onion story. I'm like, this guy did not actually say that, did he?
Like
and then I literally go on, hear the audio. I'm like, this idiot really said that. This guy really thought it was a good idea to say that. But nonetheless, man.
I'm telling you, dadgummit, the Patriots, the Tuck rule. They would have the snow,
Tom Brady's skin was so white, man.
Was so white.
Yeah.
Everybody could oh my Lord. This is we get into that. I can't even believe it. Go play sports, people, and sometimes, believe it or not, man, just so y'all know, sometimes it really doesn't have anything to do with anything, but dude's a baller, and if you can't tell, Lamar Jackson, he gives a play fake that is just dynamite, and then also he hands it to a guy in Ingram who can run people over, and then if he doesn't hand it to Ingram, he can run around everybody. Did you see Eric Weddle, by the way, a couple weeks ago, and how just lost that poor guy was?
Well, how many people has Lamar had on skates this year? Like
dude,
he makes
who was
so
the
many
guy
people
that
mad.
this week that literally it was so embarrassing.
I don't know exactly
number
who it was.
28, I think. He broke his ankles on that fake. It was so cold, and I can promise you, it had nothing to do with the color of his skin. It had to do with the fact that Lamar is a baller. He wasn't like, dadgummit, I couldn't see the football. Dadgummit. No, he was like, damn, I can't keep up with that
and
guy.
a color analyst has been there, done that. Like, you should know, hey, bro. Yeah, I think he took his
He
color
took his-
analyst.
his
He took
his
his title too serious.
Oh, God.
Took it to a new level.
Oh, speaking of a new level, Isaac Simpson, one of my favorite people in the world. He's coming up next. We're talking Tigers. They got a big game on Saturday. We're talking about it's championship week, baby. And it ain't just championship week in the SEC or the old Big Ten and all that good stuff. The American, the University of Memphis, right here in Memphis, Liberty Bowl, Memphis, Cincinnati. It's going down for real. Don't touch that dial. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find real sports talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Benswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 125 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Benswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Benswanger Glass in Midtown, located at 340 South Hollywood, across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit their website, benswangerglass.com. Benswanger Glass.
Hi, folks. Rob Walker, General Manager, Infinity of Memphis. Your source of calm and logic in an otherwise hectic and chaotic holiday season. In that regard, I'm here to tell you that we won't be participating in Black Friday. We've all been led to believe that Black Friday is the day for very special deals. If you get out of bed at some ridiculous hour, stand in line in the cold, and risk life and limb in what usually ends up in a stampede. Getting a special deal on a new vehicle should never be that difficult. In fact, it should be easy, simple, and fun. And that's what we do Monday through Saturday, 52 weeks a year. I say, bah humbug to Black Friday. It's too complicated and restrictive. The Infinity Limited Engagement Winter Event with the most attractive offers of the year on the entire line of Infinity luxury performance vehicles is on through January 2nd. Come see us at your convenience.
Find out more about this and all other offers online at infinityofmemphis.com.
Time to put up the tree.
Funny thing about the holidays is nothing flies by faster.
Time for family photos. Time to cut the turkey. Time to open gifts. Time to take down the tree. Happy New Year!
Well, actually, the Lexus December to Remember sales event also goes by fast. That's because for a very limited time, you'll find some of our best offers on our most popular models. But don't wait. Offers end January 2nd. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Lexus of Memphis.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddock Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day. Group play and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
Do you suffer from pain, stress, anxiety, depression, PTSD, arthritis, and multiple sclerosis? You want an all-natural way to manage these conditions. Hempville is unlike any CBD store you've ever seen. It's not a one-size-or-brand-fits-all. Hempville has a variety of CBD applications and brand names. They have a well-trained professional staff to help educate you on CBD and what application is best for your individual needs. Hempville has 2 locations to serve you. South Haven at 562 Goodman Road East and Oxford at 1801 Jackson Avenue West. Hempville, where your relief is their mission.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now, back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Let's go! This hour is brought to you by your CBD store, your one-stop for all your natural, organic, and non-GMO CBD products, where good health hits home. Here's Johnny Radio himself, John Hardin.
Many a hand has scaled the grand old face of the plateau. Some belong to strangers and some to folks you know. Holy Ghost and talk show hosts are planted in the sand to beautify the foothills, shake the many hands. There's nothing on the top but a bucket and a mop and an illustrated book about birds. See a lot up there, but don't be scared. Who needs action when you got words?
You know who does. That's me. I got words, and I'm going to give y'all some action because my man Isaac Simpson's about to bring it all for you because we got action at the Liberty Bowl. Can you believe it? It's bonus football because when you're playing for a title, it is bonus football. Isaac Simpson, my man, how are you, bro?
Man, good, man. Feels like it's been forever since I've been on here with the holiday and everything last week, man. Feels like it's been like a month. It's only been like 2 weeks, but, man, glad to be back on Johnny Radio's Happy Hour, man.
Man, I appreciate you doing it so much again, as always, and I always love rapping with you because, man, we got always so much good stuff to talk about. You know, maybe in the past you really couldn't talk like that because, you know, let's just be real. Memphis, for a while, wasn't quite the same in football, at least. You know, we had those years where when we joined the Revolution with Larry Porter, I mean, when you say it's slim, like it's like trying to be nice to – it's like kind of basically, have you ever seen that one show for some reason? It's like a sad show. It's like the world's ugliest dog, and they try to be sweet to it. And I'm like, dude, and that was kind of like the Memphis football program. But now the world's ugliest dog is actually somehow turned into one like the world's most beautiful deadgum dog. It's a beautiful tiger. And they're playing for a championship, and I'm in total shock. And I wanted to ask you this right now. What is the biggest story for fans right now? Is it Mike Norvell's potential leaving, or is it these young men and what they did to get here to a championship?
Man, sadly, I think it's Mike Norvell leaving. I wish it was more on the game, and I kind of hate that this is kind of going on because I think it's overshadowing the game a little bit. But I mean, again, like what you said, man, to see where this program's come from. You talk about Larry Porter joining the Revolution, all of that to come back to where we are now and chance to play for a championship on Saturday. I'm hoping fans go out and buy those tickets and fill this thing up because even if you're thinking about Mike Norvell potentially leaving, why not go out? This could be the last time that he could coach at the Liberty Bowl. Go out and support him. I mean, you saw what he's done. Fuente started this thing, and Norvell's come back and just taken it to a whole nother level. So even if you're worried about Mike Norvell leaving, I mean, go out Saturday, man. This young man deserves it. Mike Norvell is. I mean, even if he leaves, he's put himself in a position. He deserves this. I mean,
I was getting ready to say,
done everything
listen,
and been loyal to this city.
We are in what we're talking about right now, and this is where I wanted to interrupt you, and I'm sorry for doing that, but I just was going to say is we are literally, and I say we because I'm a Memphian. You, Isaac, you can say we. Anybody in the car, we as Memphis fans, we as a city, yes, we are not the football player, but we support this team. We love these young men, and we are all hopefully going to be at Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium watching these young men get a championship against Cincinnati, and it will be such a we effort. And what I mean by that is, no, the fans did not play any football, but they have come together and supported those young men. They've got the funds over there to help with the indoor facility that's en route. You know what I'm saying? Tom Bowen might be gone and Laird Veach is en route, but we got, guys who actually cared about the football program. Unlike before, it was all about basketball. And now we can say that we got two top-notch programs. We got basketball back. Penny's doing his thing. They've gotten 2 wins without Wiseman, 3 wins without Wiseman now. But he beat Ole Miss, going on the road, NC State, dropping NC State, and then Bradley. I almost kind of didn't even count because that was really a bad game. Even they won by a lot. Kind of want to forget that one. But, you look at what the top-notch program has done, and I'm just saying because it feels like the whole entire city has finally got behind Dr. David Rudd and anybody that's been over there, Gabe Kuhn, his class, all these people came together to help make this Saturday possible.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, shout out to the administration over there. I mean, the faces have changed over the years, but, I mean, that again, and we always talk about Tommy West and him, the quote that he said going out and said put something
Very
in
important.
it or do away with it, and they listened to him. That administration over there, they put something in football, and we're reaping the benefits of it now. I mean, I don't know if anybody thought that we could get to where we are now with where the program was, but I mean, it's amazing to be sitting here talking about possibly going to a New Year's Six, going to the Cotton Bowl. I mean, Memphis Tiger football. I mean, that's big time. And again, it's been fun to watch this rise, and again, shout out to everyone that's been a part of this thing, from the players to the admin to the coaches. They've just done a fantastic job, and I don't know if there's words that you can describe to put to where we are today.
Well, I'm going to also ask you, in championship week, this is something that's really big. You got Ohio State and Wisconsin in the Big Ten. You got Clemson and Virginia over there in the ACC, LSU and Georgia in the SEC. You see a lot of big lines. You know what I'm saying? Heck, Florida, FAU and UAB in the Conference USA title game is actually one of the closer games, believe it or not, and it's a 7-point line. But what I'm saying is when I look at this one, Memphis being at home at 11-1, playing a 10-2 Cincinnati team that they just beat last week, even though they're favored by double digits, doesn't this one, I mean, it could be a tight game, or do you think this could be an absolute rout? Where are you at?
It's interesting because that's a weird dynamic to play a team 2 weeks in a row.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting, and I don't know. It's tough. I think the game's going to be close. I mean, you look at last week. You look at that big kickoff return for Chris Playbook to start the game.
God, that was awesome.
You look back at that thing, and that was big time because that could have been a different game if it wasn't for that play. I think Cincinnati had a great game plan. I mean, you don't see Memphis get stopped on a lot of third and short this year. And they had defensively, they had a great game plan. I mean, they shut Memphis offense down at times where you're not used to seeing Memphis get stopped like that. I mean, it was 3rd and 2s, and usually they pick those up every time, and they were able to stop those. One thing I think, I've talked to some people over there, and the coaches kind of say, oh, well, we prepare for anything. But I think that defensively they were prepared for Ritter, and I think Stewart came in and kind of surprised them a little bit, and I think it took them a little time to adjust. I think in the second half they adjusted a little bit to him, but I think that was an issue for them. This week, Ritter is supposed to start, but I think you're going to see both guys.
I think you're going to see both guys, too. I agree with you 100%.
That Cincinnati offense looked the best it looked all year last week. They hadn't been that explosive, and they looked really good offensively. Coming in, you were thinking, oh, they can't score enough points to beat the Tigers, and they came in, looked like a different team with Stewart on the ham, so it'll be interesting to see with Ritter back in there what they look like, but I definitely think we're going to see both quarterbacks out there on Saturday.
Is Michael Warren the second? Is he the biggest offensive piece that they got to stop the defense? I mean, Adam Fuller and all of his boys got to get together and say, listen, Michael Warren, he's got 1,061 yards on the season. He's averaging 4.9 yards a carry. He's got 12 touchdowns. And by the way, his last 6 games, he's got 100 yards in each of those bad boys. So he's right now kind of toting that rock really, really hard. I say, you talk about, Luke Fickell, has done such a great job coaching. Everything's important. We've talked about the quarterback situation, but is the key to their offense, is it Michael Warren the second?
Yeah, he's a bowling ball out there. He's about 5'10", about 225. He's hard to bring down once he gets going downhill. He's kind of hard to stop. He gets those extra yards. He leans on you. That guy can, once he gets past in that second level, it's kind of hard to take him down, but definitely him as well as wide receiver Alec Pierce, who can get by you. I think he averaged he had a catch of I think 30+ yards in every game this season, if I'm not mistaken. He's a guy that can get deep on you. So T.J. Carter's out. I think that's going to be a big loss for this team. He's kind of the heart of that secondary to lose him going down. But I think Pierce, of course, with Michael Warren, definitely they got to try to stop him up front. But Alex Pierce is another guy that you got to kind of keep a handle on. But again, it's going to be interesting to see with Ritter back in there how they operate. But definitely, Michael Warren is a guy that you got to get a hold on, because if he gets loose and gets going downhill, you can get into trouble a little bit defensively. So I think offensively the Tigers will be fine. I think at times last week I felt that they were a little conservative. I
thought so too. I think that they're waiting to pull it out this week.
They were holding back. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I don't know if they were kind of holding back because they played them 2 weeks in a row and they didn't want to show everything in the playbook. So I think we could see more wide open offense this week, because again, I think at times we're so used to this offense just opening it up and doing some crazy things out there. They did have that flea flicker play that.
Hey, I think that kickoff, by the way, that kickoff return, I think it opened up an opportunity, though, for Memphis to, kind of be a lot more conservative than they probably normally would be, so that they could maybe save it and Brady goes out and has the all-out just super game, like Kenneth Gainwell goes banana sandwiches, Gibson gets more touches. I could see a whole lot different style of football game this week than I did last week. And a lot has to do with the way it just started, and you get a touchdown right off the bat from that kickoff return. But I have to say, man, Cincinnati, Memphis by 10 points. That's basically that's pretty big, and that's kind of like I think that's a statement. Last but not least, before I get do you think there's any chance that, like, are you worried at all that the boys are looking forward to the Cotton Bowl or listening too much to Mike Norvell to focus on this game, or do you think they're focused on this game and not worried about, and they're going to let the chips fall where they may?
Yeah, those two things do make me a little bit nervous. I mean, you have all the noise about Mike leaving, but I think from that aspect, I think these guys probably knew that was coming. If they had this kind of success, possibly going to the Cotton Bowl, I'm sure they probably, because they've heard the rumors every offseason. This is not the first time we've heard it louder this time, but I don't think this is anything new. So not worried about much that aspect. I do kind of worry a little bit about the looking ahead, because you beat them last week and you kind of feel like, we're at home. We're just going to go out there and beat these guys again. That does worry me a little bit, but Mike Norvell seems to, throughout his tenure here, have a way to keep these guys focused on saying control what they can control. That's one of his famous quotes that he says all the time. And I think these guys will be locked in, focused, and ready. And again, I'm just hoping Tiger Nation comes out and support these guys, because again, it could be Mike's last game. And if you're looking at this is a championship game, man. You're hosting it. These guys deserve it. These guys have worked hard, and it's just a culmination of everything that this program has built to. And I think there's no reason why we shouldn't have a packed Liberty Bowl out there on Saturday. But again, man, I think the Tigers take care of business. Their line of 10 is kind of high, especially with the way last week's game went, but I do think the Tigers win the game.
I'm with
I think
you,
it
Isaac.
should be a fun weekend.
I think I'm right there with you, Isaac, man. Everybody make sure you give him a follow at Isaac_Rivals. Go to TigerSportsReport.com. Read all of his work. Listen to TSR Live. You will be very, very glad you get, and always check him out 2:30 right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM. Isaac, be good out there, my brother.
All right, man. Talk to you guys next week.
Go Tigers, go! We'll be back in 2 shakes, and guess what? Before I say that, Sports 56 is awesome, and so is 901-406-1101. Why do you need that number, 901-406-1101? Because if you need to sell your house, you get it sold, and it's guaranteed to close in, guess what? 5 days. You got 5 fingers. You can count that high, I guarantee you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got your cash. Any house, Southwind, South Memphis, North Mississippi, anywhere in this area, Midtown, downtown, Germantown, Collierville, you need to sell your house? Get that cash in a flash. 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. This is Sports 56, 96.1. And, of course, I got to tell you about a pot arrest on 87.7 FM.
Start your day with the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hertz right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
When you're in need of quality jeans, shirts, and boots, think Frontier Western Store in Olive Branch. Frontier has thousands of square feet of merchandising at everyday low prices. Tons of jeans by Carhartt, Wrangler, and Ariat. Whether you're after classic denim jeans, dungarees, or work pants, you'll find them among Frontier's amazing selection of stylish modern fits. Flame-retardant jeans and shirts now available as well. Colder weather is on the way, and Frontier is prepared with overalls, coats, and fleece jackets. Women's Sherpa jackets by Simply Southern starting just $29.99. Don't forget the boots. Frontier boasts dozens and dozens of styles of boots, work, dress, or play. Come try on the latest boot trends as well as proven classics, Ariat, Durango, Dan Post, and many, many more. You are guaranteed to find your next favorite pair at Frontier. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, or shop online 24/7 at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
I almost never go to Central Barbecue without running into somebody I know.
That could be because you only eat at Central Barbecue.
It's because Central Barbecue is where Memphians go to get barbecue and has consistently been voted the most popular barbecue restaurant among locals.
Actually, that's really saying something.
I know. Memphis is the nation's capital of barbecue. With all the choices, people who live here go to Central Barbecue.
They do get their share of tourists.
Sure, because Central Barbecue has been mentioned on TV and in tons of national publications. You know why?
Because of the great food?
Because those TV shows and magazines look for the place where the locals go, and that, my friend, is Central Barbecue.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Your nationally ranked Memphis Tigers are playing host to Cincinnati in the American Athletic Conference Football Championship game on Saturday at 2:30 p.m. This is the third straight championship game appearance for the Tigers, but this time it's at home. Tickets start at just $20 and are available now at GoTigersGo.com or by calling 901-678-2331. Memphis versus Cincinnati on Saturday, December 7th at Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium. Be there and help the Tigers win the AAC Championship and a trip to the Cotton Bowl. Stripe up.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for Football Grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails. Cocktails.
It Chapter 2, Pennywise is back. Tune in to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour, Monday through Friday, 1 to 3, for a chance to win It Chapter 2. The Losers Club reunites after 3 decades to face their deepest fears again in It Chapter 2 and destroy Pennywise once and for all. It Chapter 2. Win the digital movie now with Johnny Radio on Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1 FM.
Now back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by your CBD store, your one-stop for all your natural, organic, and non-GMO CBD products, where good health hits home. Here's Johnny Radio himself, John Harden.
Listen to the whistle of the evening train. Why do you want to listen to the whistle of the evening train? Because it's going to tell you where to go, or maybe if you need to get off the track. I'm going to tell you a track that you need to get off of. If you're on a lot of pharmaceuticals, get off of them. Go to your CBD store. I'm dead serious. In Memphis, Tennessee at 3157 Poplar Avenue. You can go over there right now. If you have anxiety, if you have depression, if you're hurting, if you have something that ails you, if you can't sleep. There are so many different issues that people go through, but believe it or not, it always doesn't take a Xanax or an opioid or what is that sleeping pill or lithium or some element. But what is that? Lipitor is one I hear all the time on TV. What are some of the what is it?
Zoloft.
Cialis?
No, Cialis is not a. That's for that's
like Viagra.
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
exactly what that is.
Well, you don't need that one. But
I was trying to find the words without.
They always have all kinds of
vulgar.
different, like pills for you to take. Well, what I'm trying to tell you is your body and your natural, your endocrine system creates cannabinoids. Cannabinoids are in marijuana. If you are suffering from a certain illness, it's maybe because your body slowed down a certain type of production of cannabinoids. If you don't believe me, go to 680 North Germantown Parkway. Get the book ABC, the ABCs of CBD. Man, I almost couldn't get that out. The ABCs of CBD, because I wanted to go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But the ABCs of CBD will explain to you everything you need to know about it. Plus, if you walk in their store, they're there to help you. It's not a head shop. They're going to walk in there. You walk in there, it's to get medication. It could have... just because it comes from a marijuana plant doesn't make it bad. In fact, in all honesty, it probably makes it super dope, believe it or not, because I'm one of those guys like Willie Nelson that believes that, 80% of us die from stress, and the largest, biggest, stress reliever in the world, well, here, I'll just read it to you. The biggest killer on the planet is stress, and I still think the best medicine in the world, and always has been, is cannabis. Gotta say, your CBD stores got you covered. 3157 Poplar or 680 North Germantown Parkway. Now, speaking of cannabis.
You brought up Willie Nelson. I have to get to before you get to the story.
Ooh.
Do you know he stopped smoking, right? He can't smoke.
Well, I know,
but
because
he still
of his
takes
lungs.
Yeah, but he still takes.
In fact, I watched the
his
whole
marijuana
great festival. He
supplements.
eats it, and he has some of the best marijuana edibles I've ever seen in my life. Have you ever heard of a moon rock?
Yeah.
Not the old moon rocks where you take weed and you dip it in that oil and you roll it in
Okay, then
keys.
what is a moon rock?
I'm talking about those are old school moon rocks. He made a new moon rock, and it's just a little bitty. It looks kind of like a jawbreaker maybe, or like one of those funny little chocolate things. But basically inside of it, it's like a lot of milligrams of THC, and you eat that sucker, and guess what? He says you get moon rocked, if you know what I mean. It's one of those that you get in the couch. You don't get out of the couch. Speaking of these things, the reason I brought this up is, well, one, because your CBD store is very important, and two is because, did you know that there's a football game tonight? I'm serious as a heart attack. You know who's playing?
Who's playing?
Dallas Cowboys.
And?
The Bears.
2 6-6 teams.
Two guys that are also, by the way, quarterbacks. One of them is playing his way out of a job, and one of them is playing for money, because I told you he's a free agent at the end of the year. Want to ask you a question. Does this look too easy, Dallas -3?
Yeah.
I listened to Brandon
really
Lang
easy,
say this, though.
But.
But.
Does it scare you?
Actually,
It doesn't.
it really doesn't.
It doesn't scare me, man.
Dude, it's 6-6. Both teams stink, and I think about it like this. At least Dak Prescott can do the damn cha-cha. Mitch Trubisky can't do jack, okay? He's Mitch, you know what. Now, speaking of also players, this is one thing that does scare me because we were talking about pot. And then did you see the player who got arrested for pot? What in the heck is going on in the world? Do you know who he plays for?
The boys.
The Cowboys. So, can I ask you a question? Do you think defensive tackle Antwaun Woods is going to be missed? Or is he going to play?
Man, I can't imagine he's playing, but the thing is, like, the Bears' offense,
he
like,
got
it's
arrested
not
on
scary.
Tuesday. Today's Thursday.
Like, I don't even care who you're missing. Like, Mitch Trubisky's going to make his mistakes, going to make his mess ups. So, like, it doesn't matter who you miss him.
FYI,
honestly.
Woods was caught speeding 77 and a 60. He got pulled over, and police said he has glassy-eyed. Delayed responses to very simple questions like, who are you? It just makes me think of Cheech and Chong. You got your license? Ain't it on the back of the car, man? Well, he gets pulled over. They find 2 ounces of weed. 4 ounces of weed and 2 ounces of a different type of weed. So, homie, he got arrested, and, well, I don't think he's going to be playing. Have fun, Antwaun Woods. Good luck. But I will tell you what, I like them boys tonight, and I'll lay the 3 against Mitch Trubisky. Good luck out there. Make the world a better place, and make sure you don't speed if you got weed. This is Gabe and John saying, peace.
We might as well do exactly what the children saying. Take the day off, hit the park and just hang. Barbecue, roll a few and put up the deuce. And if it's beef, put the piece down, throw up the dukes.
The Christmas cheer is in the air. Santa Claus is still alive and well. Gateway Tires is teaming up with Toys for Tots. We want to see some smiling, joyful faces on all the children this Christmas season. So talk it up, Toys for Tots, and spread the word and make a difference this year. Give 1 toy or 10. We are thrilled for your tremendous love and generosity this year in making a difference in a child's life. Drop off your Toys for Tots at Gateway Tires till December 20th. All DeSoto and Shelby, Memphis metro locations, and also Oakland and Atoka.
Memphis, it's official. Crab King Seafood is where it's at. For the most flavored seafood and biggest plates, run to a Crab King's near you. Visit our Bartlett Cordova location at 7140